Look at this image. This is Sigmund Freud, the father of psychoanalysis. Welcome back to. Today we're diving into one of Freud's most influential concepts, defense mechanisms. These are strategies our ego employs to protect us from anxiety, conflict, and unpleasant emotions. Freud believed these mechanisms are mostly unconscious and shape much of our behavior. Think of the ego as the captain of a ship on a stormy sea, with defense mechanisms as maneuvers to keep the ship afloat. Let's explore each of these defense mechanisms in detail. The first defense mechanism we will explore is denial. Imagine you're a child hearing your parents argue. To protect yourself from anxiety, you might convince yourself they're just playing a game. This is denial, shielding yourself from a painful reality by refusing to acknowledge its existence. Denial can manifest in many ways. For example, a person diagnosed with a serious illness might deny its severity, or someone might deny their feelings of attraction because these feelings conflict with their values. While denial can provide temporary relief, it can have negative consequences in the long run. By refusing to face reality, we may avoid dealing with important issues that need our attention. Recognizing denial is the first step towards addressing the underlying issues. Let's say you've had a stressful day at work. You return home feeling frustrated and angry. Instead of addressing the root cause, you lash out at your loved ones. This is displacement, redirecting your emotions to a safer target. The person on the receiving end of your displaced anger is not the true target of your frustration. Displacement can also manifest in less aggressive ways, like being overly critical of a friend's choices after a setback, or becoming overly invested in a hobby to avoid dealing with emotional pain. The danger of displacement lies in its potential to damage relationships and create unnecessary conflict. It's essential to recognize when we're displacing our emotions and find healthier ways to cope with stress. Addressing the root cause of our emotions can lead to healthier relationships and personal growth. Imagine you're in a boring meeting and you start to daydream about a tropical beach or achieving a long-held ambition. This is fantasy, a defense mechanism that allows us to escape unpleasant aspects of reality by retreating into our imaginations. Daydreaming can be a source of creativity and problem-solving. However, when fantasy becomes a habitual way to avoid reality, it can be problematic. Constantly daydreaming to escape problems can prevent you from taking necessary steps to improve your situation. The key is to balance moments of escapism with remaining grounded in reality. Use your daydreams as inspiration, but don't let them become a substitute for living a fulfilling life. Striking this balance can lead to both creativity and effective problem-solving. Think about a time when you idolized a celebrity or athlete and copied their style or mannerisms. This is identification, a defense mechanism where we take on characteristics of someone we admire to bolster our self-worth. Identification is a natural part of human development, especially strong during adolescence. While it can be positive, it's important to be mindful of who we choose to identify with. Over-identification can hinder the development of our unique identities. It's essential to balance learning from others while cultivating our own strengths and values. True self-confidence comes from within, not from trying to be someone else. Embrace your individuality while learning from those you admire. Imagine receiving bad news and retreating into a world of logic and reason instead of confronting your emotions. You might start researching extensively or analyzing your finances in detail. This is intellectualization, managing overwhelming emotions by focusing on the intellectual aspects of a situation. Intellectualization can be valuable for problem solving and decision making. However, it can be problematic if it becomes a way to avoid dealing with emotions altogether. Logic and reason are essential, but not at the expense of emotional well-being. Acknowledge and process your emotions as they provide valuable information about yourself. Balancing logic with emotional awareness leads to healthier coping mechanisms. As children, we absorb our caregivers' values, beliefs, and behaviors as if they were our own. This process is called introjection. For example, a child might internalize a parent's fear of spiders. Introjection shapes our personalities and moral compasses, teaching us right from wrong. However, it can also lead us to adopt beliefs and behaviors that are not in our best interests. For instance, growing up in a critical household might make us overly self-critical as adults. It's important to recognize and challenge these internalized beliefs. Developing our own values and beliefs leads to a healthier sense of self. Embrace the positive aspects of introjection while questioning and discarding the negative ones. Imagine feeling anger when someone bumps into you, but accusing them of being rude instead of acknowledging your own anger. This is projection, attributing our unacceptable thoughts, feelings, or impulses to others. Projection often arises from feelings of shame, guilt, or insecurity. For example, someone feeling inadequate might accuse others of being incompetent. Projection hinders self-awareness and personal growth. Recognizing our projections is essential for taking ownership of our thoughts and behaviors. Addressing our own flaws leads to healthier relationships and personal development. Imagine making a costly mistake at work and constructing elaborate justifications instead of taking responsibility. This is rationalization, maintaining self-esteem by inventing plausible excuses for our behavior. Rationalization is a master of deception, often directed inward. While it can provide temporary relief, it prevents us from learning from our mistakes. It's a barrier to personal growth and accountability. Cultivate honesty and self-compassion to break free from rationalization. Acknowledge your mistakes, learn from them, and move forward with wisdom. Imagine disliking a colleague but going out of your way to be overly friendly and agreeable towards them. This is reaction formation, transforming unacceptable impulses into their opposites. Reaction formation often arises from fear of social rejection or maintaining a self-image. For example, someone struggling with their sexuality might become overly critical of others who are openly gay. While it might seem harmless, it can lead to inauthenticity and a disconnect from our true selves. Examine your motivations and cultivate the courage to be true to yourself. Authenticity leads to healthier relationships and personal fulfillment. Picture facing a stressful situation and reverting to childhood behaviors for comfort. This is regression, retreating to earlier developmental stages to cope with anxiety or stress. Regression provides temporary relief but prevents developing healthy coping mechanisms. Recognize when you're regressing and develop more mature ways of managing challenges. Healthy coping mechanisms lead to personal growth and resilience. Embrace adulthood while acknowledging the comfort of familiar behaviors. Imagine a warehouse filled with dusty boxes containing painful memories locked away in the darkest corners of our minds. This is repression, banishing unacceptable thoughts, feelings, or memories from conscious awareness. Repressed memories can continue to influence our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. Uncovering and processing repressed memories is essential for healing and wholeness. Integrating these fragmented parts of ourselves leads to a greater understanding of who we are. Embrace the journey of self-discovery and healing. Imagine an artist channeling their raw emotions into their art, or an athlete pushing their limits to achieve greatness. This is sublimation, redirecting socially unacceptable impulses into socially acceptable activities. Sublimation transforms our primal urges into creative endeavors, intellectual pursuits, or pro-social behaviors. Freud believed sublimation was the healthiest defense mechanism driving human creativity and achievement. Even our darkest impulses can be the source of our greatest strengths. Embrace the power of transformation and creativity. Imagine feeling guilt after an impulse to yell at your child and then showering them with affection to alleviate the guilt. This is undoing, attempting to negate unacceptable thoughts, feelings, or actions with subsequent behaviors. Undoing is driven by a need to alleviate guilt, shame, or anxiety. While it provides temporary relief, it doesn't address the underlying issue. Acknowledge your mistakes, make amends, and learn from your experiences. Embrace personal growth and accountability. As we conclude our exploration of Freud's defense mechanisms, remember these are active forces shaping our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. Understanding these mechanisms gives us insight into the unconscious processes influencing our behavior. Freud believed defense mechanisms can protect us but also prevent us from dealing with reality constructively. By becoming aware of our defense mechanisms, we can understand the motivations behind our actions. Make conscious choices that align with your values and goals. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned as we continue to unravel the mysteries of the mind here at